up on Jaguar News, one wrestler hit the jackpot for his upcoming school year. A Disney musical brings the wildlife to stage. And there may be a big change in your schedule next year.
Coming to you from the Broadcast Center at South Mountain High School, it's Jag News Now.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Jaguar News. I'm Danielle Keeley.
And I'm Jorge Terrazas.
After years of having the same bell schedule, South may move to a block schedule. And that's our top story. After years of having the same bell schedule, South may go to a block schedule. And that's our top story. Jaguar News reporter Armida Cepeda explains what this means for our school.
Right now, almost every South student has adapted to an hourly bell schedule. But starting next year, that may change. South might go to a block schedule.
I think it was a great idea because I don't want to go to every last one of my classes every single day.
A block schedule is a schedule in which students have fewer classes per day, but each class lasts longer. In our case, classes will become almost 2 hours long. Principal Williams says the block schedule can benefit students.
It will provide an opportunity to really go in depth as far as science, for example, doing their labs. That's a college model.
Lunch will also be 15 minutes longer, but there will be only one lunch for everyone in the school.
I disagree with it. Plus, lunch will be overcrowded, and we could run out of food quicker.
To some, having all students in one lunch period may seem like trouble, but there could be an upside.
I think it would definitely affect making sure students are not ditching to go into that second lunch, so it could improve attendance.
Also, block scheduling won't affect the number of credits you earn. The plan has not been approved, but if a certain amount of people don't agree, there won't be a change at all. I'm Armida Cepeda reporting for Jaguar News.
Administration will hear from staff, parents, and teachers before they make the final decision.
Class of 2014, senior year is coming to an end and graduation is around the corner. Cap and gown are two necessary items for graduation. Are you prepared? If you haven't ordered yours, don't sweat it. You can visit www.graduationproducts.net. And if you want any other 2014 items, you can go to jostens.com.
South Security says an increase in ditching has become a problem once again at South, but security is cracking down on this issue. Jaguar News reporter Amanda Salame talks to security guards to see their solution to this problem.
You guys are ditching, you need to go to class. Let's go.
Security patrols the halls catching kids who may be ditching. Why do students do it? Those we talked to didn't want to be identified.
I ditch because I'm having problems with one of my classes and I choose not to go so I don't have to deal with it.
Security guards tells us the main reason South students ditch is because they're late to class. The most common classes they ditch:
the first, second hours, and some of the latter hours of the day, like the 6th or 7th hours.
While roaming the hallways and around the school, we caught a couple students out of class and walking around.
I usually ditch just to go hang out with my friends. That's pretty much it.
But security says they're trying to be more proactive.
Audit by checking restrooms on a daily basis, hourly basis, checking students that may be sitting in the quad, making sure that they don't have a class when they're on the quad.
Security Paul tells us the number of students ditching a day varies from none to even several a day. So it may not be a good idea to ditch, but it's best to avoid it as much as you can. I'm Amanda Salame reporting for Jaguar News.
The JROTC department received a special visit from commanders and lieutenants from the JROTC program. Officers were there to make sure everything from uniforms to internal affairs were up to standard. Their next visit won't be until the fall of next school year, so they will have to wait a while to improve.
AIMS and ACT tutoring is back to help students prepare for the ACT and AIMS tests coming up in April. This tutoring will be offered during spring break on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 7:30 to 12:30 in the library. Show up on any of those days to receive any help that you think you need before you take your ACT or AIMS test.
Are you clueless about what to do during spring break? Jaguar News reporter Tarani Hightower tells you about some places you might want to visit.
Wet 'n Wild is the place to be for spring break week. It has up to 15 rides and is open March 15th through the 23rd. Join admission is $39.99. Another attraction to hang out at is Golfland Sunsplash. Events such as laser tag, miniature golf, and race cars are available. For Sunsplash, it's $12.95, and for Golfland Fun Pass, it's $21.25. From roller coasters to arcades, Houses and Coasters is a better bargain. The price for unlimited rides is $22.87. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, you will always find excitement at the zoo. The Phoenix Zoo is open daily for those who want to be in the wild. Head out with family and friends to see the variety of animals at the Phoenix Zoo. it will cost you $20. For Jag News, I'm Tony Hightower, and have a fantastic break.
Prom is right around the corner, and this year it will be hosted at the Children's Museum of Phoenix. Tickets are $80 per couple and $50 for those who decide to ride solo. Royalty packets can be picked up now in Ms. Berghart's room 158, and campaigning will start after spring break. If you want to bring a guest, you will have to pick up an application for the bookstore. Remember to dress classy for this year's Gatsby Gala theme.
Coming up on Jaguar News, our cameras were front row at South Mountain's production of Tarzan.
And one South Mountain student receives big money from a school in Milwaukee.
After 9 years of defeat, the girls' softball team finally added a victory to their record. They beat Coronado High School 20-10. After coming off of that victory, the girls tried taking that momentum towards Arcadia High School. Unfortunately, the girls couldn't put out another win. The next game is on Tuesday after break. It's home against Saguaro High School at 4 p.m. Be sure to make it. As for the baseball team, they didn't start that well. After dropping their first loss to North High School, the boys headed to Arcadia High School to face the Titans. It was a hard-fought game, but the guys were unable to string up enough hits to get on the scoreboard. Arcadia just out-hit the boys as they defeated them 11-0. The boys' tennis team is under a new head coach this year. Coach Soria struggled to get players on the court at first, but then he found enough to compete. So far, the team has had 4 matches this season and have only been victorious once. The next match will be home on the 24th, hosting Verrado High School at 3:30 p.m. As for the girls' tennis team, they have not yet picked up a victory. The girls' next match is away at Verrado High School on the 24th after spring break. Starts at 3:30. Their first home match after break will be held on Tuesday, March 25th at 3:30 as well. Be sure to go out and support those girls. As many of you already know, spring break starts tomorrow, and seniors are running out of time for scholarships. However, one student athlete already has his future planned out. He has a $35,000 scholarship to Milwaukee School of Engineering in Wisconsin. Jaguar News reporter Kevin Estabalan gives us more.
Senior Jose Hernandez wrestled all 4 years at South Mountain. Just last month, he was in the top 8 at state in the 195-pound class.
I'm more confident now. I like going outside. I like running and everything. I love physical activity. I got that from wrestling.
But he won't be in Arizona to further his wrestling career. Jose has received a $35,000 scholarship, plus another $8,000 from a grant from Milwaukee School of Engineering.
I think Jose is special because he's a hardworking learner, and he helped the whole team when wrestling season was on, and he was a big leader to us.
He wants to become a biomedical engineer, so now his advanced classes like pre-calculus, not wrestling, are what's taking most of his time at home.
I don't get up in the morning and say, I have to do this, I have to do that. I get to do this and I get to do that. I have the privilege of working out. I have the privilege of running. I have the privilege of lifting weights. I have the privilege of going to school, and I have the privilege of going to college.
During his time off, Jose still practices wrestling at Central High School. Weighing 230 pounds, Jose has gone through brutal training from lifting and from wrestling. Jose first started wrestling in the heavyweight division. From heavy lifting plus intense workouts, he's lost over 50 pounds in the last 4 years. He plans to wrestle in the 174-pound weight class in Wisconsin. For Jaguar News, I'm Kevin Ixtabalan.
The boys and girls track team began their season with many victories. In the mile, senior Alan Ordonez won with a time of 4:44. Even with the absence of one of their top runners, the boys dashed through the 4x4 race for a win. For the girls, junior Hayo Zacharias won both of her events, the girls' mile and the girls' 800, even with the need of her inhaler after every race. For the shot put, our boys set their mark with state qualifying measures, both Nick Mercer and Ezekiel Quintero.
There it is, there it is. Yeah! All right, that's it.
An athlete that truly stood out in this meet was Josh Loss, a freshman. He won his 200 race and had a long jump of 18 feet and 8 inches on his first high school track meet. Well, that's all for sports this week. Have a fun spring break and don't party too hard. Back to you guys.
Disney came to South for the first time.
South's Performing Arts Magnet put on the musical Tarzan, and I had a front row seat at the performance. In this production, costumes were key because actors had to transform into gorillas. They had to continue those characters on stage.
It was really scary, but in the end, I loved it.
Musicians had another challenge. They had only got their music a week ahead of the musical.
I started coming to rehearsals, and it was really shaky, but after a while, I started getting it down.
Everything that was in this performance was done by the students, and it was all done in 3 months.
Everyone just worked so hard, the crew and tech, just to make this happen, and the actors were amazing.
Everyone involved in the performance agreed that the musical turned out great.
And that does it for this week's edition of Jaguar News.
We'll be back after spring break with the senior non-graduating list. Have a safe spring break.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.